right, so if you don't want to guesstimate, you guys want to get a little closer to perfection, what I think we'll do is we can disconnect our shock, either one end or the other, and that will allow us to move the crank or the rear triangle up and down manually, or we can go ahead and let the air out of the shock. But I think it might be still a little stiff and hard to move, but we don't have to move it too much. But in this case, we're going to let air out, and I'm going to use an Allen tool to go ahead and stick that in there and lose some air. Put a rag there, might be a little bit of fluid, just a tiny bit that might come out, which is normal. We got probably some float Fox fluid in there. So now we're going to see if we can move this triangle. We're going to make sure that the switch is in the easiest position. We've got climb, trial, descend over to the far left. We're going to raise the scope. Yeah, there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend this out all the way. Push all this excess in, so you can put your finger over at the head tube and kind of, you can modulate how much is going through because we want a true reading. So I'm just going to let it slide through my fingers real easy over at the head tube over on this side. And so as I bring this up, it's going to pull whatever housing it needs until we come to that stop position. Make sure your stand is tight. So we're going to push this up. So as we hit a bump, suspension gets activated going up, and it's going to pull housing. I can see it, I can feel it pulling through my finger. And we're going to try and go all the way to the max. So right about there, we're going to tell too because there's a little O-ring on the shock. So that is the max right there. Just bottom out on something. So now we're gonna make sure that housing doesn't move over at the head tube. Let this guy relax. Make sure it extends all the way out. That's good. Then we can go back down here and see what it took, which it didn't take very much. This guy right here. So it's probably a little less than I would have imagined. I probably would have had some more pulled out. But in this case, that's the minimum of what it needs. I'll probably go ahead and pull another 1 to 2 inches out just to have that safe excess right there. Okay, so that's the absolute minimum of what this triangle needs when it goes up and exercises up all the way. And I push up, it goes tight. Boom, right there, that's the full closure right there. So I'm actually gonna pull out some more housing so we get a little more slack. Maybe about 1.5 inches or so, something like that. Let's see what happens when we let go. That's fully extended, so we got that right there. It is popping over to the left. I'm not crazy about. Not sure what we can do about that, but having that that loop right there is maybe necessary, so we don't put any unnecessary pressure on that housing over there. I think I have a little excess right there, so it looks good, and it certainly when I do that, it's not pulling anymore, so that looks good there too.